everyone, welcome to How To's with Bella. Today's episode is going to be how to be a transcendentalist. We have something special for you guys. We brought in two experts from Oberlin College that have devoted their time to studying and living the transcendental lifestyle. Let's welcome Dr. Transcend and Dr. Entless. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. So first let's talk about what transcendentalism is.
Right, so Transcendentalism is a philosophy that focuses on idealism. It goes beyond strict religious and societal beliefs and focuses more on the beliefs and expressions of an individual.
Transcendentalists defy tradition, live close to nature, and focus on rationalism, which is found in both nature and humanity.
Are there any transcendentalists that stand out or have inspired you?
Definitely Ralph Waldo Emerson, I would say.
For me, it would be a mixture of Henry David Thoreau and Martin.
Martin?
Luther King Jr., of course.
All right, now let's break this down for the newbies. Now that we know what transcendentalism is, how would one live a transcendental lifestyle?
To start, nature is a huge aspect of the transcendental lifestyle. People who choose to live this way tend to leave the familiar society in order to immerse themselves in nature in an attempt to find their true selves. The average person is always focused on
Mortal problems.
but it is easy to lose yourself when you are drowning in materialistic and societal pressures.
I agree. As Emerson once said, I become a transparent eyeball. I am nothing, I see all. As you immerse yourself with the pureness of nature, you tend to clear your mind of these
Mortal problems.
and find your true self.
When people immerse themselves in nature, are there any specific actions people take and live by?
Well, when you are a part of something bigger, you are not so focused on the superficial ideals of society. Simplifying your life can help you see clearer so you are not as obsessed with continuous materialistic innovation and improvements.
Yes, that is a very important aspect of living a transcendental lifestyle. As Thoreau once said, simplify, simplify, simplify.
So what other ideas do Thoreau and Emerson incorporate into their writings?
Well, Emerson was a firm believer in nonconformity. According to Emerson, envy is ignorance, that imitation is suicide.
What Emerson believed is that if you conform to fit in with society, then you lose yourself, thus committing suicide. It takes courage to be your own self, so most people take the easy route of conforming to society's expectations.
So you're saying that people who want to live a transcendental lifestyle should avoid conformity and not be afraid to express their true selves. Well, I did some research myself and found that Emerson and Thoreau used to be best bros. How fascinating. Is there anything you can tell me about Thoreau?
Yes, in fact, Emerson invited Thoreau to even live in his house. After that, Thoreau decided to live in a self-built cabin in the middle of the woods, where he devoted his life to establishing connections between nature, humanity, and himself. There's nothing more transcendental than that.
He wanted to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life. Ultimately, Thoreau wanted to find the deepest meaning in his life and recognize his full potential without the distractions of materialism and conformity.
So we've talked about Thoreau and Emerson, and I know you've mentioned Martin. Are there any specific things he lived by that express transcendentalism?
Well, in my opinion, Martin Luther King Jr.'s most famous work was his letter from Birmingham jail, where he strongly expresses his opinions on taking actions against injustices.
Martin would advise others to take a stand against injustice through civil disobedience. He would say that there is never a bad time to stand up for what is right.
He mentioned in his letter, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Turning a blind eye to injustices is just as bad as committing those yourself.
Martin's strongest tie to transcendentalism was his nonviolent demonstration to take direct action wherever injustices existed. He believed that it is your duty as a citizen to maintain your moral values, even if that means defying a law, if that law goes against human rights. He even goes to the extent of saying one has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws.
Great. Thank you so much for coming out here and explaining what the transcendental lifestyle is all about.
Thank you so much for having us.
I had a blast.
So to wrap it all up, if you're interested in living a transcendental lifestyle, there are 4 main things you should follow. 1, open up to nature more than you ever have before. 2, always be yourself. Stay away from conformity. Trust me, you don't need it. 3, simplify your lifestyle. You don't need all the things you have to live a happy life. And 4, stand up for what you believe is right and don't turn a blind eye to injustice. I hope you enjoyed this episode of How To's with Bella, and make sure you like and subscribe and tune into my next video of me living the transcendental lifestyle for 24 hours. Bye!